being reliable.
Yes, and how that can really have a super good impact on your life and on the lives of others.
It's a bit like having a superpower if you're reliable.
Yes, it is. It's one of those soft skills that really should be, it's
commended.
It's a brilliant skill to have and to learn. And that's what we're going to be talking about
in this week's episode
of Get Real with the English Sisters.
So happy you joined us. Thank you for your support.
Yes, being reliable. Yeah.
I mean, we're reliable, aren't we? We come up with this podcast every week. Come snow, come rain.
Yes, definitely.
And we do our best to make sure. And I was thinking, we might not make it this week, but we've managed it.
Yes, and that, that does mean being reliable, because being reliable, it can be for a simple appointment, or, you're just to make it, or just making it in time, or to do what you say you're going to do.
Yeah, so we've committed to this and we're doing it. But obviously sometimes you can't do it. So you shouldn't beat yourself up if you can't, or you have to, not go or not do something. But in general, I think if you can be reliable, it'll give you a lot of self-confidence in other areas of your life.
Absolutely. Because it means you're reliable to yourself.
Exactly.
So if you're not reliable, to make it for something you say you're going to do, then how can you be reliable, say, to start a fitness program, or to decide to shed a few extra pounds? How can you be reliable to yourself and you know that? So it makes you feel anxious and uncertain about that.
Yeah.
So how can you
feel as if you have no control over yourself?
Yes.
Because you say you're going to do something
and then you
flake
don't
at the last minute.
Yeah, and you don't. Exactly. So that gives you, and others, obviously, especially if you're going to be meeting with others. I remember we had that friend. You remember she would say, meet you there at the coffee place at 11. She was never there.
No,
never.
Should always be half an hour late.
Half an hour, 1 hour,
or not come,
or just not turn up.
No.
With no
excuse.
And me being the reliable person I am, and you as well, I would always be there on time.
Yeah, I suppose she thought because there's two of us, it didn't matter if she didn't turn up.
Yeah, but we made the effort.
Yeah,
we made the effort to get out the house,
to go there,
get dressed, go there, etc., etc. So yes, that made me think of her, like what you were using, that word flaky, like not a reliable person, not somebody that I would count on, say, if I needed. So imagine in the workplace. In the workplace, reliable people are employees, are they're highly valued because they're good at the thing they do, and then they'll do it on time. And so, I mean, they're a precious resource to any company. But you're also a precious resource to yourself if you can do things.
That's what's the most important thing is, because you think it's to benefit others, but really you're benefiting yourself by being reliable.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, if you can't rely on yourself for doing something that you said you're going to do, then that does question other areas of your life, doesn't it?
It does, and it can make you feel anxious. So if you're somebody that's not good, and you have been reliable, and you haven't developed this skill,
because it's a skill.
It's a skill,
and sometimes it's taught as well. Because our parents, for instance, were very reliable. If they said they were going to do something, it was true. They would do it.
Yeah.
But how many parents have we seen that say they're going to do something with their kids? Oh, I'll
and
take you there tomorrow. I'll take you to the park tomorrow. Then they never do it. So they just flake on their kids.
They do. Yeah.
And they just think it's normal.
And they just think it's because the child has like a short memory or something. But I mean, they definitely do not. I mean, obviously maybe if they're 5 months old and you say, tomorrow I'm taking you to see your little friend, and then obviously that's a different case. But however, if they're older, they are certainly going to know what you promised, and they're going to know it did not turn out, the way they planned. And they can learn those kind of behaviours. They will learn to model that, and to think it's okay not to be reliable, and not to go ahead with what was said. And this, obviously, it's okay if it happens once. You've got some problem happen. You know, you can't do it today, but we'll program it for next week or something.
Yeah.
We're not being, you know, there's always that certain amount of flexibility
Definitely,
in life that's
yes.
required.
Yes.
The balance, once again. However, in most cases, I think you can learn to be reliable to yourself by taking very small steps.
But how do you learn to be reliable?
Let's say the doctor has told you, for example, you're supposed to be drinking 2 litres of water a day.
Yeah.
Let's see, get that done. You know,
but how do you get it done? You can help yourself, can't you?
By
measuring it.
You can measure it, yeah, or you could buy yourself, you know, even one of those cheap water bottles, or just keep it there, like measured somewhere in your workplace where you can see it and think, right, that's it. You get through your first litre and then you go to your second litre, and then what are you laughing at? That's what I've got to do.
Yeah.
But I do it and I find I'm reliable. You know, I tick it off.
Well, I have to do it as well.
You have to do it as well. So, okay. It's probably good for most of you, you know, people out there. So you can say, okay, I can commit to that. You commit to small things, the same way you commit to, you know, washing your face in the morning. Yes. That's right. You start,
and then don't sabotage yourself by saying
make it too difficult.
By saying to a friend, yeah, sure, I'll meet you on Thursday, when you know fine well that on Thursday after work you're going to be absolutely exhausted and you won't want to go.
So how can you?
What you do is you either plan ahead and make sure you're not exhausted, or you say to that friend, no, let's meet on a Saturday when I know I'll have had time to rest in the morning or whatever.
The problem is that a lot of people that are typically not that reliable are not very good about thinking ahead about how they're going to be feeling. I'm thinking of my husband, for example. Yes. He is definitely reliable in lots of areas of his life, but there's one thing like planning ahead and saying, oh, I'll meet you, like he said to you, know, do you remember that day he said, we'll see you Sunday afternoon.
Yes. And I knew it wouldn't happen.
Yeah, because he had tons of work to do. I knew he had, you know, we have our own business, family business as well. And I knew he had loads of admin and paperwork to do. And I thought, why is he telling Violetta, you know, that we're going to go there and play games? What was it, these card games? Yeah, he said, yeah, we'll play games on Sunday afternoon. And I looked at him and I thought, are you sure, Diane? You know, there's no way in hell you're going to get all that stuff done that you need to be taking to the accountant for Monday. Yeah. And of course, come Sunday, 1, 2 o'clock, oh gosh, I'm not going to make it. There's so much paperwork. Can you just call it off? Oh gosh, I'm not going to make it. I don't like calling things off once, you know, they've been said, because like what, you know, we said before, there are expectations. People are expecting you, family, friends, they've planned their day in their life that is special.
Yes.
Because days are special in each person, so if you have respect for that, then you understand how, you know, changing plans or just being flaky can hurt people.
Yeah. So you did come in the end.
In the end, we
convinced.
No, I said, no, darling. You know, you said you want to do this. And I actually said to you in front of Violetta and her husband and her family, I said, do you think you're going to be able to make it on time? And you said yes. So now we're going to have to...
I think what happens to your hubby is that he feels like he didn't want to say goodbye on Saturday night because our daughter's leaving.
Maybe.
And so he said, no, to make it like seem softer for him, he'll say, no, we'll meet tomorrow and we'll play games.
Yeah.
But as my daughter said, I bet you Uncle Georgia doesn't come.
Yeah, there you go.
And I said, well, he might not because he might be busy, but let's see. But I think he was really convinced that he wanted to come.
Yeah.
And so I said, they might come. But then, obviously, I mean, when I wrote to you and you said you were coming, we were quite surprised.
Well, yes, that's because of me, because he was saying, what? I can't remember. I go, yes.
Yeah.
So that's a kind of personality type that he can never seem to think ahead of how he's going to be feeling, or he has no concern for that.
I think it's like what you say, he doesn't actually
not good.
That he didn't want to hurt us the day before by saying goodbye, because he felt as if it was like too harsh, because then he's not going to see my daughter for ages. But But then he doesn't think ahead and say, well, if I don't go the next day, they're going to feel bad about it because they plan their day. He doesn't go that far ahead to think that. Like what you said, you're actually letting people down.
You do let
they
people
plan
down.
Their day
yes.
for it.
Whether this was a family,
maybe that's like a personality trait.
Yes,
I think that if you're someone like that, you should maybe work on that, because you will let your friends and family down if you said you're going and then you don't go, because they have planned their day around you.
They do plan their day. Everybody does, because otherwise we would get nothing done. You all have to plan your day. You have to think, okay, at 3 o'clock I'm going to be meeting so and so, or whatever it is you're going to be doing. You plan, you expect if you're going to have people home. You might have gone shopping and bought food for them. You know, I mean, come on. There are lots of things to take into consideration. So, yeah, I think being reliable is also being respectful. And, but I can understand why, if you are like my husband, who I love dearly, I can totally understand where you're coming from. And, but I think, you know, if you're listening to this, maybe you can think, yeah, maybe I do that sometimes, you know, and try and just have a thought about it next time you plan something with somebody. Because, you know,
it's good. It's good to be reliable.
It's good to
start being... One of those valuable skills to have in your life.
Super valuable skill. I mean, just be reliable. Like the doctor says, you've got to take certain meds.
Oh, that too.
Not only the water, but look, let's think about blood pressure medication. You're reliable to yourself because you know you take it at the certain time you're supposed to be taking it.
Yeah.
Whatever this is, you know,
it goes into so many areas.
So many. You've got to have a tooth out. Effect. You have to have your antibiotic. You're reliable to yourself to take it this time and that time, any age of your life. It doesn't necessarily mean, you know, it really does go into every aspect of your working life, your personal life. You've got kids.
All ages, even when you're little, when you're young, when you're at school or whatever, university.
Definitely.
Showing up to your lectures, showing up, you know, giving your essays in on time, or your
and it all starts with being reliable to yourself, doesn't it? Saying, I'm going to put my alarm on and I will get up at that time. I will do this because
you get up within 5 minutes of putting your alarm
because
on.
I'm going to start to be a reliable person from now on. Because the rippling effect of being unreliable is devastating to your own life.
So much anxiety and grief.
A lot of grief and a lot
to your life and to others.
To others,
And people miss out on your company as well if you flake on them at the last minute.
You could miss out on love, meeting somebody, you know, whoever it is, because you're not being reliable to yourself. So
let's get on that. Being reliable. Can't even say the word.
No.
Okay, let us know what you think. Remember, this podcast, Get Real with the English Sisters, is also on YouTube. Come and say hi on Spotify. You can leave us a comment, and you can also text the show directly.
Oh, yes.
So,
lots of love. See the text, won't we?
Lots of love and smiles from the
English Sisters.
Bye.